Turning to Iran, IRGC fired second day of missile tests. Does it look like the White House will raise it at the UN Security Council? When and what are the kinds of things that might be an appropriate response?
Well, we are aware of reports about additional missile launches today in Iran. We're going to take a close look at those launches in the same way that we're continuing to review the details around the launches that were carried out by Iran earlier this week. Unfortunately, Iran's insistence on developing a ballistic missile program outside of widely recognized international standards is a longstanding concern, not just of the United States, but of the international community. It is, in fact, one of the reasons that the United States led the way to develop, negotiate, and implement successfully a diplomatic agreement to prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. The reason that was significant is we know that Iran is working aggressively to try to enhance their ballistic missile capability and preventing them from being able to nuclearize their missiles is obviously important to our national security here in the United States. It's also important to the national security of our allies and partners in the region. So we are pleased that we've been able to successfully implement that diplomatic agreement to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. That makes our country and the region safer. But we will continue to redouble our efforts with our allies and partners in the region to try to limit Iran's ability to continue to develop their missile program outside of international conventions. And there is more that we can do to enforce sanctions that are in place. There are also a set of restrictions about what kind of equipment and materials can be shipped to Iran. And there's more that we can do to work with our partners to interdict those kinds of shipments that may include some of those illicit products. So this is something that we've been mindful of for quite some time. It's the reason that we pursued the international agreement to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. And as we learn more information about what exactly they have done, we'll determine an appropriate response. The other thing that I will point out is that we know that Iran is in a season of carrying out a number of military activities. And so it certainly would not be a surprise if there are additional launches over the next several days that are similar to the launches that we've seen already a couple of times this week. Okay?
Yeah, and lastly, on